A lot of our audience really wanted to hear your commentary on metamodernism and Hansi Freinat, and their claim that they are post-integral, that they transcend and include integral. What do you think of that?
Well, I haven't seen any believable presentation that they're actually transcending and including integral, because there are aspects of integral that I don't think they're touching very well. And the aspects that they claim they're introducing are ones that you can find in types, for example, in integral theory. So one of the difficulties that I've found with the whole integral framework, and I've been working on this now for about 50 years. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. So I have a lot of experience with how people react to it and how they respond to it. And one of relatively common ways is that because so many of the aspects of integral theory, or it's often called integral meta theory, is that, again, most people just don't know about these various areas. And we sometimes refer to them with things like waking up, growing up, showing up. We also have sort of names for some of the areas like quadrants and levels and lines and states and types. And because a lot of people just aren't aware of these other areas of their own being, their own potential, their own awareness, they can get very, very excited by it. And then one of the relatively common things, and we would see this in some of the professional journals, is they would take integral meta theory and they would include implicitly about 95% of it. And then they would add sort of 5% something different, and then claim that that 5% was the new integral theory, and the old one, you didn't need it anymore. And I've seen that truly dozens of times. The meta-modern response is not new. I've seen it many, many times. And I have yet to see a case where it's turned out to be actually the case that you could, well, simply call this new approach, oh yeah, that's the new integral. As I say, I keep adding aspects to the integral framework wherever I find them. So some of my students, for example, have actually named the various types of frameworks that I've put forth as Wilber 1, Wilber 2, Wilber 3, Wilber 4, Wilber 5. And so we've gotten up to Wilber 5. And I hope to get to at least Wilber 6 or 7 or done. The one good thing I can say about all of those is that all of them are including the true aspects of the previous one. So Wilber 5 includes all the good stuff in Wilber 4 and Wilber 3 and Wilber 2 and Wilber 1. So I think that's what's important about it. And whatever name we end up using for any of these frameworks, I honestly don't care about that. What I care about is getting the truths that we're incorporating, getting those better well known, because those are the not deniable aspects of these theories, these meta theories, these models. And those are exactly the things that are not getting, as I've been saying, they're just not getting much attention nowadays, even though there's something as important as ultimate truth. And I mean, we just don't hear about that kind of stuff. And it's like, really, you really want to have a culture that has no bloody idea what ultimate truth is? You really just want to have a bunch of relative truths wandering around? That just doesn't sound that exciting to me. Actually, it sounds like a big, big mistake, and something that's going to cause a lot of problems. So I don't care what name we end up calling these things, as long as we end up actually including all of these truths and getting the word out on those.
There's definitely the problem of people wanting to kind of stand out by just adding that standing on the shoulder of giants thing, want to add that tiny little bit and rebrand it so that they build their own personal brand. I didn't really see a whole lot of new content from that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would be delighted if I was a giant on whose shoulders future humanity sat. That would be fine with me. That's sort of a definition of evolution. Is evolution just keeps going forward. And one of the ways the integral defines each stage of evolution is that it transcends and includes its predecessor. And that's just a stunning realization. And it really makes an enormous amount of sense about so much of what happens. And so the whole idea, I mean, we're doing it moment to moment. We're including our previous moments, and then we're adding something new in every single moment. As Alfred North Whitehead would say, there's a bit of novelty that's added to our prehension. So we engage all of our past, but in every moment, and this includes every individual thing that exists, including electrons and protons and atoms, but they not only are to some degree caused by their past, they then, even if they are largely caused, they still add a little bit of novelty. They add a bit of newness to that equation. And then that's what gets passed forward, is that little bit of novelty and its causality. And then that becomes the next event that's apprehended, transcended, and included. And we see that happening from the moment of the Big Bang all the way up to today. And when human beings first emerged, Homo sapiens, we now have skeletal remains. We used to think they're around 200,000 years old. Now it looks like it's about 300,000 years old. Of course, our ancestors, Homo habilis, and nice folks like that, maybe back 1 million years. But modern humans are 300,000 years old. And what happened when that brain physiology emerged in our present-day bodily structure emerged is we kept growing and developing, just as all sentient life before us had, by going through these interior stages of growth and development. And so we did go from an archaic phase into a magic phase, and then from that into a mythic stage, and from mythic into a rational. Rational was basis of modernity. We moved into post-modern stages, and now we have a leading edge of humanity that's moving into second tier integrated integral stages. And so those people are the ones that are asking these kinds of questions. And they don't just want to know, okay, which view is right and all the others are wrong. They want to know, how do you put them all together? Because they all fit together and they're supposed to be together. And when you do that, you get an overwhelming amount of goodness and truth and beauty. And so that's what's just so astonishing. And I think that will just continue going forward as well. So, like I said, I'm glad to be part of the shoulders of giants if we can get that happening.
Enter the Future Thinkers giveaway and win our brand new community membership, including in-depth courses, private calls, and more, as well as a supply of Qualia, a complete cognitive upgrade for your brain. To enter the contest, simply go to futurethinkers.org/giveaway and sign up for our mailing list to instantly get our 50-page guide on how to adapt to the future. There are many ways to increase your chances of winning. Enter the competition today. The brand new Future Thinkers members portal is now live. Develop your sovereignty and self-knowledge with our in-depth courses, get access to our weekly sense-making calls, join the Q&As with past podcast guests, and much more. Become a Future Thinkers member today at futurethinkers.org/members. To stay up to date with new episodes, subscribe to Future Thinkers on your favorite platform. And leave us a review or a like. It really helps out the show. And don't forget to share this episode on social media.